WGN Radio, breaking the hits. You've heard it first. 720 WGN with John Landecker. The person singing that song has a great story behind that song. Alex Hardaway, thank you for coming on, Alex. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is awesome.
Listen, I saw this whole page in the Tribune over the weekend. My gosh.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
You're kidding me.
For me. I cannot wait to see that.
You have not seen this?
I saw it online, but I haven't been able to grab a paper yet.
Listen, I've got to hold on. You know what? When we're done here and we go to the break, if you don't mind, tell my producer, Breandan, if you don't mind giving him your address, and I'll mail it to you. I have it right here.
Oh, awesome.
I have the entire... It's the entire. Do you understand what I'm telling you? It's the entire page of the life section of the Chicago Tribune.
Who did I bribe? Yeah. Wow. I feel really lucky. Yeah, that is so awesome.
Well, I'm glad I can get this to you because I know how you feel. You know, it's one thing to see it online, but still, you know, I know newspapers are what? Are not what they used to be, and they're fighting a continual battle to stay in business. And
sure, it's a difficult industry.
Yeah, and things online are probably the way it's going to go, and sooner or later, that'll be where they all go. But to be able to see it physically,
I can't wait.
It's something that you're going to love. This, you're going to love this. Let me describe it to you.
Oh, please.
Okay, so the top third of the front page is you standing outside your apartment building, wearing a blue shirt.
Yes.
with your arms crossed, and somebody going by on a bicycle. Then down the page a bit more, there's a big picture of you sitting in what I'm guessing is your recording studio. You're sitting.
You could also call it a one-bedroom apartment. But, you know, it's double.
Yeah, I know. You got to work with what you know, like that. And you're sitting at a drum kit.
Sure.
So here's the deal. Well, tell everybody what this is all about, because I think it's just a great story.
Oh, so during the pandemic, I'm a songwriter first and foremost, and I thought it would be a great idea I started doing some tours around the apartment to kind of chip away at my rent. I live in kind of a 13-unit building here in Andersonville, and my landlord was kind enough to give me some odd jobs. And then I started kind of meeting everyone in the building, and I realized at some point I know everyone's name, and I kind of know a little bit about each person. And I was trying to write something other than like a really dumb love song. So I wanted to write something kind of more narrative, not worry about rhyming so much, kind of tell a story. And it occurred to me, I got to write a record about all these people in this building. Wow. Like I just thought that would be like the coolest thing. So, wow, that took a long time.
Now, we played a part of a cut called Alex, who obviously is one of your neighbors. Oh, I'm sorry. What, Ian? You're Ian. Alex. You're Alex, right?
Yes.
Ian is one of your neighbors. Well, Alex is one of Ian's neighbors, so it goes both ways.
It sure does.
You must have had some reaction. You know, how do I back this up? I think that there is a notion that people can live in apartment buildings and be neighbors for years and never talk to one another. I don't think that that's unusual.
I think that's definitely what happens. I think a lot of people can go through life like that. I got to talk to people. I don't know why. I just I can't help but I'm kind of nosy. I just like to say howdy. I'm from Texas. Everyone talks to each other there. And it's not very Midwest of me, but I really try and get into conversations with people if I can.
Well, I think that's a beautiful thing. I mean, talk about trying to get your neighbors involved with one another and actually write a song for each and every one of them. That's really something else. And I want to talk to you a lot more about that. We're going to play a little bit of another tune. and we'll play it out of what we're going to do next. We'll take a break, and then we're going to talk some more to Alex Hardaway and his album, Be My Neighborhood. You heard it first on 720 WGN. Jerry, the owner of the building. That says it all. Alex Hardaway is the artist that you've heard playing and singing on that particular tune, and he's with us now. And these are selections from his album, Be My Neighborhood. And here's the deal. He's, well, you're a musician. You also are a DePaul graduate, right?
I sure am. I went to the theater school there. I studied there, and I am a waiter. I work at a restaurant called Oyster in Wicker Park. I've been there like 10 years.
This is typical.
You got to pay the bills. That is definitely a great side hustle.
My daughter is an actor and majored in theater in Madison, Wisconsin, and she's from Chicago, and she spent years working at Starbucks because because they had health insurance for part-timers. At any rate, so you write a song about every person in your building, and that is what, 15 tunes? Am I got that right? 15 different songs?
Well, 13 to get technical about it. Yes, and I left myself out, and there was an empty unit at the time. It's technically a 15-unit building, but I had to get a little artistic with some of it.
Now wait a minute, you didn't write about an empty unit?
I should have. The space is definitely worthy of being written about. At least a haiku or something.
Sure. So you play. Tell us how many instruments you're playing on this.
I'm not great at any of them, but I play a lot of instruments like guitar, ukulele, mandolin, bass. Let's see, piano, percussion.
Jeez.
And what's cool about this record is after I finished writing all the songs, I reached out to a pal in Ohio who's a professional drummer and had him record himself from his home in Ohio playing drums on all the songs. And then I reached out to 40 or 50 musicians in the United States, orchestra players. I wanted to find a unique orchestra instrument for each neighbor, something that would kind of match their personality.
Wow.
So I was lucky enough to find some really brilliant players, some from Utah Symphony Orchestra, some pit players from here in Chicago. I got really lucky, but that's what took so long is kind of reaching out to these people randomly and cold emailing them and asking them, hey, would you mind playing your bassoon on my rock and roll song? So I got, as you can imagine, I got a lot of no's. But I got very lucky and found some really awesome players. So you'll hear instruments like piccolo, bassoon, flute, violin, cello, marimba. It goes all over the board.
So this is because of the pandemic. Gave you the time, so to speak. Everybody had time on their hands. And it took you, how many years did it take you to put this all together?
About 3 in total. The final cherry on top was finding Adam Seltzer out of Oregon, who's a mixing and mastering engineer who's done projects for like the Lumineers, REM, She and Him, the Decemberists. He's this kind of legendary figure. And I just reached out to him, another cold email, explained the project. And within 10 minutes, we were talking on the phone. And we talked for about an hour. And he decided he would help me out and take this project on. And we spent a couple of months kind of going back and forth, mixing and mastering it. But he finished that up for me, and I was ready to go.
So these various players that you've contacted, I'm guessing they recorded their parts at their location,
For most of them, yes.
Yeah.
I got lucky. A couple of them were able to come over to my apartment and record. That was kind of after the pandemic. We were still wearing masks, but a couple of them were able to come here.
And you just mentioned this guy from Oregon. And his track record. Those bands probably gets paid a lot of money to work for the Lumineers, for instance. Did these people help you because I'm guessing because they really got into what was behind your project, that you were I mean, you don't have a history of being a recording artist.
No, I have no followers on social media platforms. I have no business working with these amazing people. I just, I begged them, John. That's what happened is I tried to be really earnest and kind of explain the project. And, I learned something a while ago. You got to ask. It never hurts to ask.
Right.
So that's how I got that Chicago Tribune article. You just got to reach out. And that's what this whole record's really about. Reaching out, getting to know people around you.
Yeah. Totally. So, gosh, I could ask you about I don't want to pry into the lives of other residents, but I mean, in a certain sense, I'm gonna, because these songs are about them. How did you get the word out to your building that you have an album and each person in that building is the subject of one of the songs on that album?
So a lot of people don't know about it so far, but a couple of them just happened to follow me on Instagram and saw maybe the Chicago Tribune article and were like, what? And I kind of had to be like, oh, my God, I never thought that you would see this. This all got out of hand. Like, please let me explain myself. And, in the end, I had to rhyme some words and stuff. So, I took a lot of artistic license. These are characters that I've made out of these neighbors. So, it's not all, just facts. But, there are some songs that are exact, like transcribed conversations, that I've had with some of these people. So, I wanted to use like real situations. Yeah. And something I'm really interested in is writing about the mundane, finding musicality in just everyday situations. And an artist that really inspired me to do that was Andy Schaaf, a Canadian singer-songwriter that he just kind of blew my mind in terms of writing, kind of like a Randy Newman type musician.
Well, there's the series Seinfeld. That was about, what they say that it was about? Nothing.
Oh, educate me. Nothing.
No, nothing. It was about nothing. Yeah, that's the whole premise of Seinfeld. It's about nothing. So, I mean, I'm not saying you're writing about nothing, but you're writing about, as you say, the mundane or things that don't normally get attention in the music world, at least. But I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by the fact that your building doesn't know that this album is out. This is wait a minute. I know. It's like, and I don't know what to say.
A couple of them are friends, so a couple of them do kind of know what's going on. But yeah, there are definitely people who have moved away, and like I'll never see them again. So
let's talk about them.
Yeah, who knows if they'll ever hear their song.
So give me an example of one of a song about somebody who's not there anymore and they moved away. Just briefly.
There was this wonderful lady full of life named Maeva, who she had this characteristic that I just find so fascinating. And if you think about it, it's in a lot of people. They'll come up to you and start talking and mention someone in their life that you've never met before. They'll say like, oh, and Tim is always telling me, I'm troublesome at a restaurant or something like that. And it leaves you kind of standing there like, do I know Tim? Is this someone I've met before? So she did that with me a lot, and I found that hilarious. So I wrote 4 or 5 songs about Maeva, trying to get this like small thing, this small little idiosyncrasy that she had into a song. And I just found her so interesting. She was just a really, really lovely person, too. So I was excited to write a song about her. And her song features tuba, which is awesome. It's played by Curtis Biggs.
Wow. Okay. We're going to have to wrap this up, unfortunately. But after we're done, do stay on the line, Alex, and give Breandan your address, and I'll mail you this front page.
You're generous and very kind. Oh, it was lovely to meet you. Thanks so much for having me on.
Don't go away yet. Hold on a second.
Okay.
And even when we stop, don't go away so we can talk to Breandan. How do people hear the tunes? Where can we find it?
It is available everywhere you can get music. Spotify, Amazon, Google, Apple Music. I have a YouTube channel that you could follow me on. Alex Hardaway, Hardaway. And you can follow me on Instagram, cowboy_shoes. But yeah, I would love for people to reach out if they listen to the record and they can relate to it. Send me a message. Tell me that you listen to some of it, you know. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Oh, no. Thank you. Alex Hardaway and wrote an album about his Andersonville neighbors in his apartment building. He inspired an album of songs about each of them. Some of them know about it, some don't, which I find very intriguing. And the name of the album is Be My Neighborhood. Alex, all the best to you. You sound like a great person, and I think you'll do very, very well, and I hope this album does well for you. Thanks for being on.
Oh, thank you so much. You're very kind. Thank you.
Don't go away, Alex. Stay on the line so we can get the address.